In 1959, two aliens aboard an alien ship rush to stop the third crew member, who is about to release a dangerous experiment. The third alien, seemingly possessed, launches the container into space, which crashes to Earth. Meanwhile, a nearby college student and his girlfriend arrive at a parking lot, where they notice a shooting star and decide to investigate. The container crashes near them, directly in the path of an escaped mentally ill criminal. When the girl is attacked by an axe-wielding maniac, the student finds a cylindrical capsule, from which a strange, slug-like creature jumps into his mouth. 27 years pass. College student Chris Romero is struggling with an unhappy love affair, and his disabled friend JC tries to support him. During a charity week at Corman University, Chris spots a girl named Cynthia Cronenberg and falls instantly in love. To impress her, he decides to join a fraternity. Cynthia's boyfriend, the leader of the Beta Epsilon fraternity, tasks Chris and JC with stealing a corpse from the University Medical Center and planting it on the steps of a rival fraternity as a test. Breaking into a secret room, they find a frozen body, but when the corpse suddenly comes to life and grabs them, the boys flee in terror. Afterward, the thawed corpse attacks a medical student working in the lab. Detective Ray Cameron, a tired and withdrawn cop, arrives to investigate the break-in at the cryogenics lab. He learns that one of the bodies is missing, the same man who encountered an alien experiment in 1959. Chris and JC freed him. Soon, the corpse returns to the old dorm where his girlfriend died 27 years ago. There, his head splits open and more slugs burst out. Cameron arrives and finds the mutilated body, deciding that the wound was caused by an axe blow to the face. The fraternity brothers blame Chris and JC for the incident and take them to the police. The lab janitor says he saw the boys run out of the center screaming like banshees. They admit to breaking in but deny touching the corpse. Meanwhile, the dead medical student comes back to life and kills the janitor. Cynthia tries to convince Chris and JC that everything is zombie-related, but the friends don't believe it. Later, when Cynthia expresses affection for Chris, JC leaves to avoid getting in the way and falls victim to slugs that burst from the infected janitor. Chris escorts Cynthia to the dorm and runs into Cameron, who overheard their conversation. At his home, the detective tells Chris that the girl murdered in 1959 was his lover. In retaliation, he tracked down the axe murderer and secretly killed him, burying the body under the site where the dorm now stands. The conversation is interrupted by a call that the killer has resurfaced and killed a housewife. Cameron shoots him in the head with a shotgun, and more parasites burst from his skull as the university prepares for the prom. Chris finds an audio recording left by JC in it. JC explains that slugs have infested his brain, but he learned they can be destroyed with fire. He bids Chris farewell, declares his friendship, and wishes him luck with Cynthia. Chris turns to Cameron, who is preparing to commit suicide, and together they borrow a flamethrower from the police arsenal. They arrive at the dorm just as Cynthia is leaving Brad, who is already infected with slugs. Brad dies, and soon the reanimated Beta Epsilon brothers, who died earlier in the bus accident, approach the building. Cynthia and Chris fight the attacking zombies, while Cameron clears the building from the inside. After the attack is repelled, Chris notices more slugs heading for the basement. Cynthia remembers one of the female students taking brain samples for biology class. Downstairs, they find a huge mass of slugs and Cameron, taping his mouth shut and preparing a can of gasoline. He begins a countdown, spraying the fuel. Chris and Cynthia run outside just as the detective finishes. Just as the slugs pounce on Cameron, he lights the lighter, and the house explodes in a brilliant flame. Chris and Cynthia kiss as they watch the building engulfed in flames. Afterward, Cameron, barely alive, emerges outside, still holding a cigarette. He suddenly stops and collapses. His head splits open, and slugs burst out, rushing toward the nearby cemetery, where they might find new hosts. Spotlights appear in the sky. That same spaceship is approaching, and it seems that the aliens have returned to finish what they started.